is Jordan Matin. I'm the owner of the Matin Real Estate Group here at Keller Williams, Portland Central. And I wanted to take a quick moment to, first of all, say thank you so much for registering on our home value site. And what's really great about the home value site is that it gives you some accurate information, but of course contact me directly if you want to get a more of a narrowed down approach. First things first, I wanted to introduce you to Mark Snow, our preferred lender here at Keller Williams. And the reason why I wanted to reach out to him is because you may be thinking about making a move here in the future and selling your home and purchasing a new one. And I want to make sure that if we are going to talk about making a move and purchasing and selling your home, that you first of all qualify for the next home. I hate seeing people sell their homes and not be able to do what they want to do. And so I want to get prepared up front. And first things first, to introduce you to Mark Snow.
Thank you, Jordan. It's a pleasure to be here today.
Yes, thanks you for coming. I really love working with Mark. First of all, he's located in the office, which can make the entire process so much smoother for me to be able to just walk down the hallway and ask you a question if something comes up. They're with a great company, Mortgage Trust.
That's correct. Mortgage Trust is a locally owned company here in Portland. Been around for about 15 years.
Okay. So, Mark, let me ask you, I'm just going to get into it a little bit so I can get a basic idea of what it is you do, how we work together, and some commonly asked questions of people that are thinking about buying or maybe thinking about selling and purchasing something new. So,
Great.
So let me ask you, what is the first step in looking to purchase a new home?
The first step, from my standpoint, is to become pre-approved, is to take that step and actually have a lender such as myself look at your situation and make sure that you have the pieces that need to have in place to be able to purchase a home. Okay.
So what does it really take? I mean, what does somebody need to be able to afford to purchase a home? I mean, what does that mean? How does the bank get a pre-approval?
Sure. The first thing to do is to actually get a loan application, and that starts with either calling us up on our office, setting up a time to come in for a visit one-on-one with myself, or we take your application, start getting your information over the phone, or we can have you fill out an online application and get the process started, and then we'll follow up from there.
Yeah, and I did want to just take a moment to say that in this email there is a link for you to do an application online and go through everything, and that will go directly to Mark. And once that's set up, then you can get a phone call from him. He can start the process. And of course, we're doing online, and I know there's some private information that's going to go on there. Is that a secure server? How does that work?
Yes, it is a very secure website that we have.
Okay, so if people put in, they're going to have to put in social security numbers, what they're making, and that's a safe portal, correct?
Yes, it is, and that information comes to me and me only.
Okay, terrific. And I know that for a fact, that they never come to me. It always goes directly to him. And so that's terrific. So let me ask you, what is once you get the application rolling, what other documents are people going to need to get fully pre-approved?
Great question. Along with an application, because the application is your name, social security number, date of birth, addresses for the last 2 years, employment information, do you have any bankruptcies, foreclosure, short sales, that sort of thing. And then from there, with the documentation, to get started, we need last 2 years of full tax returns, last 2 years of W-2s, last 2 months of bank statements showing the down payment funds that you have or intend to bring to closing. Okay. Last 30 to 60 days of pay stubs. So there's some documentation that's going to be needed if you're divorced. We'll likely need copies of your divorce decree, those kinds of things. Okay, so there's a lot of documents, but starting off, we don't need all those documents up front. Really, we just need the application filled out. We start with the application because that gives us a snapshot of and gives us what we need to pull a credit report, and that we can get a lot of information about, about your situation from that. But we also need the documentation to verify the employment, the income that you have, the down payment funds, because those things are very, very important, especially since the financial crisis. We have to have those things to make sure that we're getting the completed picture up front to be able to, for them to be able to get pre-approved to buy a home. And that makes sense. And it sounds like you're creating a value up front, that you're making sure all the work's done on the front end, so that at closing table you put all this money into an inspection and appraisal, and it turns out I don't even qualify, right? Exactly. The goal is to do kind of the heavy lifting, a lot of the work done in the beginning, to make sure that when we do provide a pre-approval letter, it's accurate, and that the buyer can go out with confidence and know that what they're looking to purchase, what their price range is, what they're comfortable with on their monthly payment, is that they can do that. They can go out with confidence that says, yes, I found this house I want to buy, and they actually can buy it because they've gone through the pre-approval process properly.
Okay, so you do everything on the front end to make sure that it's well taken care of. So then I have to ask you, the most common question I hear is, well, God, I'm not ready yet. I have a great credit score, and I don't want to do an application because you're going to pull my credit and it's going to hurt my credit. Is that true?
We do have to pull credit as one of the requirements to become pre-approved.
Okay.
That has to be done. And depending on your credit score, it can affect your credit score for it may go down a few points for a week or two.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the misinformation that's out there about not wanting to pull credit happens when, say, someone goes to, say, the mall on a weekend, and they go and they buy a car, they buy furniture, they buy appliances, they go to Nordstrom's and Macy's and just buy all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Doing all that in a weekend, that can affect your credit score, pretty dramatically.
Yeah.
As opposed to having a lender pull your credit for a pre-approval process.
So it will affect your credit, but how? I mean, it's like a blemish, right? It won't last very long.
It may go down, 5, 10 points for a week or two, and then it'll go. Your score will recover.
Okay, terrific. So the next question I have is Mark, why would I? I mean, not to be disrespectful, why would I go with you? I mean, I know that I've been going to U.S. Bank since I was a little kid. My father went to U.S. Bank, and there's Patricia down at the end of the hall at U.S. Bank that's been there for years. Why wouldn't I just go with her? I've seen her, I know her. What's the difference between what you offer and Bank of America, U.S. Bank, Wells Fargo, one of these major banking firms?
Sure, great question, Jordan. It's it's an honor to work with you and your team, and the bank that I work for, Mortgage Trust, we are, it's a privately owned bank. We are a mortgage bank. So what we do is we focus solely on mortgages. We don't have checking accounts, savings accounts, car loans. We focus solely on mortgages, and we're really good at them.
Okay.
And what we do is, analyze all the information day in and day out, become very good at knowing what all the programs are and what's available so that we can guide borrowers into the best loan for them.
Okay. Well, I know there's certain deals that some of these bigger banks are offering, percentages off, or, I mean, is the cost different working with you than working with a bigger bank?
We're very competitive in terms of our costs and our fees.
Mm-hmm.
You'll find that, most lenders are all very competitive.
Yes.
With business, and it comes down to finding a good fit with a loan officer, that one that you feel comfortable with, one that, is timely with their responses and gives you, tells you what your options are.
Okay, so banks aside and, the brokerages and all that stuff, I mean, what's the biggest difference between you and other lenders?
Sure. I've been in the industry since 2008. I've had a history of doing a lot of investments with rental properties and so forth. And with my background, I'm very thorough with making sure and analyzing borrower situations, tax returns, and making sure that the pre-approvals that I provide are accurate. Mm-hmm. And I also want to make sure that I respond, myself and my team, we respond to borrowers and their questions in a very timely way.
Okay, terrific. All right, so I wanted to give everyone the opportunity to meet Mark. I love Mark. Mark's a great guy. He's also a great mortgage professional. At the same time, we don't require anybody to use our preferred lender. We've done work with big banks. We've done work with other mortgage brokers. The reason why I wanted to take a moment for you to meet Mark is because I know that if the transaction, we want to make sure that you're set up with the partners that are going to be the most successful, the most peaceful, and cost you the least amount of money. And that's why I think Mark's a great option. I do want to point out again that the application is right here in this email to get started. And if you have any questions for me, for Mark, or anyone else on my team, please go ahead and email us. Give us a call, shoot us a text message. We'll make sure to respond as quickly as possible. Mark, thank you so much for coming. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Joy. Appreciate it.
Yeah.